Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. Let's talk about in-face again. And what did we do in the old school world when we didn't have in-face? Or what happens if you use an aligner brand that doesn't have in-face and they don't all have it and some of them aren't good? So don't worry about it. I think the nice thing about working with a Gen X orthodontist is that we were doing ortho before there was any technology in ortho. So we know how to jimmy rig stuff. We are the MacGyvers of orthodontics. This is what we enjoy. This is the best part about orthodontics is MacGyvering it. So in any case, sure, we can do this without in-face. It's not a big deal. Now, if it's a major midline case or a shift case or an asymmetry case, I would prefer to have in-face. It's just a tool that makes everything more predictable. It decreases refinement. It increases treatment acceptance because you can see it, and I don't make as many oopsies. I mean, a lot of stuff we do in ortho is oopsies. Like we do a little bit, we check. We do a little bit, we check. We boot it, we move it. And patients nowadays, they love this virtual stuff. They like to have the plan. This is the plan. This is what we're doing for the next year and a half. Like, what? I got to come in? No, I just want to use my app. Well, for some types of orthodontics, we got to see you in person. It can't all be done virtual. Sometimes we're checking stuff, and I can't always check stuff just on a 2D screen. Like there's stuff I want to see. So that's the benefit of getting the technology loaded and locked and the data on the front end is that we're much more secure about our treatment plan. It's not as much like look and sees. Now, of course, there's variables that are going to come into any treatment plan, right? There's lots of variables. Variables could be bone density, variables could be compliance, variables could be if elastics are worn, well, that's compliance, obviously. But in any case, if there's bruxism, if there's habits, in any case, growth would be a variable too. So, I mean, yeah, you still got to see your patients. Things can still happen, but you're less likely to have things happen if you're going to use this kind of technology. So that's what the in-face is for. If you can't use it, they've always changed that technology. Before, it was like you couldn't add it if it was an in-progress case, like if you didn't use it at the very beginning to start the case. I'm not sure if that's still the case. I'm being told something else, but a lot of people are still telling me they can't add it. If you didn't use it at the very beginning, you can't ever add it later, even if you needed it at the third refinement 3 years in or something like that. What a hassle. So I'm not sure about that. You'll have to double check. But I do know you have to use the app on the iPhone, on the Android, like the actual Invisalign app. And there's an Invisalign practice app, and there's the My Invisalign or the Invisalign patient app. Okay, patients use the patient app if they want to be doing virtual check-ins. They don't have to. And by the way, just watch out because when you get your patients all excited about the virtual check-ins, there's a lot of data that Invisalign can get from them. Not all patients are okay with that. So that is the one thing you have to keep in mind with the whole virtual process is that some patients are very uncomfortable about it, just having their data out there. So not everyone's going to be cool with the virtual process. I don't know that a lot of the venture capitalists and the big public companies understand that not all patients are okay with this, and that some of us have to do the more analog version of it, having them come into the office. So there is a workaround if you can't use it, and I call this the BS plan. And basically I came up with this name, and it stands for bullshit. So BS, it's not a bad thing. It just means that we're kind of BSing our way. I mean, ortho's all about BS. We guess, we think, we check, we pivot, we tweak. Like I said, there's so many variables. Not everyone moves exactly the same. So we can have an idea of what we want to do, and that's our treatment plan. But the treatment plan is always fluid. It is never locked and loaded. Like we might have a plan, but the plan changes, which is why we constantly got to be discussing things and constantly have to be rebooting things. And that's the beauty of the whole analog version. So make a BS plan. If you want to know how to make a BS plan, go into my YouTube channel, put in the keyword BS, no dots, just BS plan. You can put in BS plan, Invisalign. You'll see you can do this with ClearCorrect. You can do this with any aligner company. Just making a second plan. It's just like a second opinion, doing it a different way. And you can use features, Invisalign's not going to care if you have a second case going, even if you didn't approve it and pay for it, but at least you can see the in-face in the face. If we're going to be more likely to purchase that case and do fewer refinements, I don't see why they'd have a problem with this. That is just dumb if they have a problem with it, especially if they make it so clunky that you can't use the in-face without using their app. So I mean, I feel like it's a bit of a, I don't know what the word is, like a trick. Like you have to use their app and they have to get your data so that you can get the best outcome. I mean, they may not be doing that on purpose, but it does make it a little bit frustrating. That's hard for us to use all the features that we're paying for unless our patients are willing to opt into all this stuff. So, ugh. All right. Thanks so much. Thanks for listening.